Hollywood is a world built on dreams, stories that outlive the people who create them. But sometimes, those who bring these stories to life don't live long enough to see their own legacy unfold on the big screen. Today, we remember 5 American actors who tragically passed away before seeing their final films, leaving behind haunting performances that serve as both a farewell and a lasting tribute. 1. Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight, 2008. Our story begins with one of Hollywood's most unforgettable transformations, Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight. Before 2008, Ledger was already a respected actor, known for roles in Brokeback Mountain, A Knight's Tale, and 10 Things I Hate About You. But nothing could prepare the world for what he would bring to Gotham City. He threw himself completely into the role. Friends said he isolated himself in a hotel room for weeks, keeping a journal as the Joker, exploring the psychology of chaos and madness. Heath once told reporters he was sleeping just 2 hours a night while preparing for the role, his mind racing with ideas, voices, and that chilling laugh. But before he could witness the film's release, tragedy struck. On January 22, 2008, Heath Ledger was found dead in his New York apartment at just 28 years old, the result of an accidental prescription drug overdose. When The Dark Knight premiered later that year, the world was stunned, not only by the brilliance of the film, but by the haunting reminder that its most electric performance came from a man no longer alive to see it. Ledger posthumously won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, an honor accepted tearfully by his family. In a way, Ledger's Joker became more than just a villain. He became a symbol of an artist consumed by his craft, gone far too soon. 2. Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, 1973. Long before superheroes dominated the screen, there was one man who made martial arts a global phenomenon, Bruce Lee. Born in San Francisco and raised in Hong Kong, Bruce was more than an actor. He was a philosopher, a fighter, and a visionary. His charisma, speed, and philosophy of be water captured imaginations around the world. Enter the Dragon was meant to be his crowning achievement, the first major Hollywood-Hong Kong co-production showcasing Asian martial arts to Western audiences. But fate intervened. On July 20th, 1973, just 6 days before the film's release, Bruce Lee collapsed and died at only 32 years old. The cause was ruled cerebral edema, brain swelling possibly linked to a reaction to medication. When Enter the Dragon premiered posthumously, audiences were left in awe. The movie broke box office records worldwide and turned Bruce Lee into an eternal icon. He never got to see the global phenomenon his film would become, or how it would open the door for generations of Asian and Asian American performers. To this day, Bruce Lee isn't just remembered as a martial artist, but as a bridge between cultures and as a man whose final film made him immortal. 3. Paul Walker, Furious 7, 2015. Few actors embodied loyalty and brotherhood on screen the way Paul Walker did. For over a decade, he was the beating heart of the Fast and Furious franchise. As Brian O'Connor, the undercover cop turned street racing family man, Walker helped turn a niche car movie into one of the most successful franchises in history. Off-screen, Walker was known for his humility and humanitarian work, running Reach Out worldwide, a charity that provided disaster relief across the globe. But in November 2013, during a charity event for typhoon victims, tragedy struck. Walker was a passenger in a Porsche that crashed and exploded in Santa Clarita, California, at 40 years old. At the time of his death, Furious 7 was still in production. The filmmakers faced an impossible question: how to finish the film without the man who had defined it. Using CGI, stand-ins, and the help of his brothers, Caleb and Cody, the production was completed, and the result was both breathtaking and heartbreaking. When Furious 7 premiered in 2015, audiences around the world wept during the final scene, a beautiful, wordless goodbye between Paul Walker's character and Vin Diesel's Dominic Toretto. The closing line said it all. "You'll always be with me, and you'll always be my brother." The film was dedicated to Paul's memory, a farewell that felt both cinematic and deeply personal. 4. Chadwick Boseman, Rainey's Black Bottom, 2020. In 2018, audiences around the world shouted "Wakanda Forever," but few knew that behind the strength of King T'Challa, actor Chadwick Boseman was fighting a battle of his own. Boseman's rise was meteoric, from portraying icons like Jackie Robinson in 42 and James Brown in Get On Up to redefining heroism as Black Panther in the Marvel Universe. But while he inspired millions, Boseman was silently battling colon cancer, a diagnosis he kept private for 4 years. Even as his body weakened, he continued to work, delivering powerful performances that would become his legacy. His final film, Rainey's Black Bottom, released on Netflix in December 2020, showcased his unmatched emotional depth. Just months before the premiere, on August 28, 2020, Chadwick Boseman passed away at home in Los Angeles at 43 years old. When the film debuted, critics and fans alike were stunned by the intensity of his final performance, raw, angry, and heartbreakingly human. For his role as Levi, Boseman received a posthumous Academic Award nomination for Best Actor. Though he didn't win, his work continues to resonate as a testament to his courage, grace, and artistic spirit. He played heroes on screen, but his greatest act of heroism was the quiet dignity with which he lived and left this world. 5. River Phoenix, Dark Blood, 2012. Long before Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp became household names, there was River Phoenix, the actor who seemed destined to define a generation. With soulful eyes and quiet vulnerability, Phoenix captured hearts in films like Stand By Me, Running on Empty, and My Own Private Idaho. By the early 1990s, River was one of Hollywood's brightest young stars, admired for his authenticity and environmental activism as much as his acting. In 1993, he began filming Dark Blood, a psychological drama about a young widower living in the desert waiting for the end of the world. But the film would never be finished, not then at least. On October 31st, 1993, River Phoenix collapsed outside the Viper Room, a Los Angeles nightclub partly owned by Johnny Depp. He was just 23 years old, the victim of a fatal drug overdose. Production on Dark Blood halted indefinitely, leaving reels of unfinished footage locked away for almost 2 decades. Then, in 2012, director George Slusser, who had kept the film's footage safe, decided to complete it, using voiceovers and editing to fill in the missing scenes. Nearly 20 years after his death, audiences finally saw River Phoenix's last performance, a haunting reminder of the promise lost too soon. Watching Dark Blood isn't just about seeing River act, it's about feeling the echo of what might have been. Each of these actors left the world before they could see the impact of their work, but in death, they achieved something rare: immortality on screen. Heath Ledger taught us the power of transformation. Bruce Lee showed us the art of discipline. Paul Walker embodied loyalty and love. Chadwick Boseman redefined heroism and dignity, and River Phoenix reminded us of the fragility of genius. Their final films stand as time capsules, proof that art can transcend mortality, that even after the curtain falls, a story can go on. The lights may fade, the reels may end, but legends never die.